Hi, my name is Dina, and I started a group called Dina's, I have aphasia and I lose my words, especially when I'm tired, but I needed to make this video. Dina's Gabapentin safe, it's all about the taper Gabapentin library. And there's some information, a lot of misinformation out there about gabapentin, a lot. And this is all I do now, is tell people about gabapentin. My family's sick of hearing about it. My dogs are sick of hearing about it, but I got to keep on doing it. Here's something that people do not understand about gabapentin. It was only ever, to this day, ever approved to treat two medical conditions. Two. Seizures, to prevent seizures in people with epilepsy, and to treat a condition called herpetic neuralgia, which is a fancy way of saying shingles pain. Those are the only two conditions gabapentin has ever been FDA approved for. I've had doctors argue with me about this because it is prescribed for everything from menopause to pain, to opiate withdrawals, to restless leg syndrome, to movement disorders. Let me insert here that it gave me a slew of movement disorders. It did enough brain damage. Terrible conditions it's used to treat. But here's also some of the side effects it causes. And because I've ran a group now and at times I've had up to 1,400 people in my groups, I've kept track of what I hear. Diabetes is a side effect. And it's not a rare one. A lot of people developed it after gabapentin. AFib, I can't pronounce the word, atrial fibrillation, that's a side effect. You can look these up at the FDA, by the way, yourself. Renal failure is a side effect. Respiratory failure is a side effect. High blood pressure is a very common gabapentin side effect. And there's the other granddaddy of them all, a muscle condition called I hope I can pronounce it right, rhabdomyolysis. And guess what? That condition, rhabdomyolysis, actually was what got gabapentin placed on the FDA Watch List in 2012. Bet your doctor didn't tell you that either. But the important thing that I want you to understand while I'm doing my controlled rant here is that gabapentin, if you were not being prescribed it to prevent seizures or for shingles pain, herpetic neuralgia, you are being prescribed it off-label. And off-label means there's absolutely no proof that it's going to treat your medical condition. None. Do their off-label prescribing. However, there is a lawsuit in which it was originally called Neurontin. Gabapentin is only the generic version of a drug called Neurontin, in which the FDA fined Pfizer $1 billion for their drug reps telling physicians it would treat all of these. Look up snake oil memo, Pfizer snake oil memo, FDA fines. Look it up. So if you are being prescribed gabapentin for pain, which it will make worse, or any other number of conditions, anything that is not herpetic neuralgia, shingles pain, or to prevent seizures, you're being prescribed it off-label. And I want you to understand that there is absolutely no proof, no research, no clinical evidence at all that it is treating your medical condition, that it will do anything. Yet the side effects are horrendous from this drug. So, and I know doctors push it like it's candy, and I just read today that more internists than ever are prescribing it. I want you to know you're being prescribed a medication off-label, and your physician will probably lie to you. There's even physicians that are coercing their patients to actually taking it, even though there's no proof of efficacy that it works. It's all a big marketing lie. Again, I would like to refer you to the Pfizer snake oil memos, and you'll see what I'm talking about. You have to do the research on these medications. It's an epilepsy drug. It is also interfering with the electrical activity in your brain. It's interfering with it. It's changing it. It's rewiring your brain. But do you need an epilepsy drug? Because the side effects can be pretty horrendous from an epilepsy drug. So just keep that in mind, because I tell this to people all day long. I think they don't believe me. Well, my doctor said. Your doctor's lying to you. Your doctor's lying to you. Do the research yourself. Your doctor is flat out lying to you. If he or she or any prescriber told you that gabapentin works, there's proof of efficacy on any other medical condition than to prevent seizures or shingles pain, herpetic neuralgia, they're lying to you. They're flat out, fucking lying to you. You need to do the research yourself, because the third leading cause of death in America currently is medical error. And a lot of that has to do with these medications. If you don't wake up, it's going to ruin your health. It's going to ruin you. That's all I have to say. And another thing, if you've been on it and you go off of it too fast without safely and slowly tapering, what's called a microtaper, you're at risk for you. Even if you never had a seizure in your life, you are now at risk for seizures, because the electrical activity in your brain has been interrupted. And that'll make you in a world of hurt. And guess what? They'll probably put you on Lyrica, which is even stronger. And if you think you're hurting, and if you think gabapentin made you hurt, you haven't seen anything until Lyrica. So I just want people to understand these facts. I say them all day long. I think they don't believe me, but it's there. The evidence is there. This is easily able to Google stuff. So that's all I have to say, because you know what? It'll ruin your health. It'll your central nervous system. It will compromise all 15 functions. In varying degrees, it might not be right away, but it will happen. And it won't help your pain. It's not an opiate. It will not help your pain. In fact, most people prescribed gabapentin end up being given pain medications too, such as opiates, which also increase their risk of death 49%. So, I hope I gave you some facts to think about. And I have all the research you may need in an album on my page and in my group if you've been on it, because there's some things you should know. We don't debate the facts, though, in my group. By the time you get to us, people are dying. They're actually dying from it. And their doctors dismiss them, or they'll attribute it to other causes. But really, gabapentin sets in motion a bad set of side effects that, once started, you can't reverse just by going off of it. AFib, renal failure, diabetes, rhabdomyolysis, and it has to be pretty bad to get you on the FDA watch list. So I'm sure that the rhabdomyolysis is a lot more common than we're told. Anyway, just some gabapentin facts. Then I'm just going to start doing facts on this maybe every day. So take care of yourself. Bye.